workspace. We just want someone to have basic administrative rights in this workspace. So now we're going to add an administrator to the workspace. Now the thing to remember here is that you have to do some role assignment, of course, but the thing that you need to be aware of is that you have to do a role assignment in the Azure world, so Azure RBAC has to be used, and then also within the workspace you have to use our own Synapse RBAC. So two places, two separate things have to be done. I've opened up the Azure portal and you can see under Recent Resources, there's the workspace that I created. So I'm going to click here and it's going to navigate, of course, to the page inside the Azure portal, my workspace. What I want to do is go to Access Control, I am, and let's go ahead and just click and view my access. So of course, I am the owner of this workspace. We want to add another owner. Okay, so we're going to click Add a role assignment, and the role, of course, is owner, and I'm going to pick one of my colleagues. Under Select here, I'm going to type in Ryan, and he should show up. There we go. Ryan Majitimer, a fellow colleague of mine, and then it says he's selected, and I click Save. Now he's an owner of the workspace. So first, this lets him, go to the portal, and it lets him find this workspace when he's searching for an Azure. It lets him be able to enumerate it, etc. It is, even though Ryan may only use Synapse Studio, he needs to have a role assignment here. At the very least, he'd have to have like a reader access to at least even be able to open the workspace. I've given him owner access so that he can not only just see the workspace, with Synapse Studio, but also that he can create pools within the workspace. So that's why I said owner here. So that's Synapse Studio, that's Azure Portal. Now we need to do Synapse Studio. So let's get back to, actually I can go here under Overview and click Open Synapse Studio. And now I'm back in my Synapse workspace called Savine April 1 Demo. Let me expand the left and show you where we need to go. It's the last entry here, the toolbox icon called Manage. And once we get to Manage, this is the Manage Hub, we're going to scroll down under Security and go to Access Control. Now, you can see, of course, I am already an administrator here. And, of course, the service principal for the workspace is also an administrator. He can take any action with full administrator rights inside the workspace, as you would expect. What we want to do is add my colleague Ryan as administrator. This is very simple. We're going to click Add, and then it's going to go to Add Role Assignment. Okay. Now we can talk about scopes. So you can assign the role on the entire workspace or some smaller part of it. In this case, we want to keep it simple. So we're going to assign, of course, he's going to be an administrator. So we're going to assign the scope as workspace. Now the role we want. Okay. So there are quite a few roles here, and most of them, of course, start getting very fine-grained. But we're going to use one of the pre-built administrator roles, specifically Synapse Administrator, of course. We'll click there, and then we'll search for Ryan again. There we go. And then this is very similar to the Azure Portal UI. You can see Ryan's name is selected, and we'll click Apply. And then now Ryan appears. Now, what's important to remember here that more or less now Ryan can do anything that I can, but there are some things that will probably surprise you. The first is that, I added him as administrator on the workspace, which is great. So he can do things in the workspace. But if he tries to read or write a file in that storage account, he won't be able to, because remember, access to storage account is owned by the storage account. So I would have to go back into the storage account that we created, and then add him as